criminal violence and disorder has no place on Britain's streets. We've been clear to the police that they have our full backing in taking the strongest possible action against perpetrators, including we're making sure that there are more prosecutors, there are sufficient prison places, and also that the courts stand ready, because anyone who engages in this kind of disorder needs to be clear that they will pay the price.
There's been a call today among some cabinet ministers. What can you tell us about what was discussed and what further steps were potentially decided on?
We're clear right across the government, to the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Lord Chancellor, and for me as Home Secretary, that we will give the police all the backing that they need in the actions that they are taking in response to this criminal disorder and thuggery, because it has no place on Britain's streets. That's why we're ensuring that there are additional prosecutors in place this weekend, that the courts stand ready as well. We have to make sure that anyone who engages in this kind of unacceptable disorder really pays the price.
I mean, what further levers, government side, have you got that you can pull in this? Because I guess a lot of people turn to the government and say, what can you do to stop this happening? But how much is there that you can do, or is this down basically to the police?
Well, the police need to lead operations in communities across the country where there has been both violent disorder and thuggery on the streets, which is completely unacceptable, completely damaging, and where the police need to know they have our full support, taking the strongest possible action, making sure that these criminals face the full force of the law. And also already there are some of the suspects and perpetrators have already been arrested, already facing charges and are in custody, but we expect more of that to continue, and we will support the police every step of the way. Communities have a right to be able to feel safe.
So some people have been charged in relation to some of the violence we've seen already?
There have already been arrests and charges, but we know that will continue, and the police have our full backing. I want everyone to be clear. Anyone who gets involved in criminal disorder, violent thuggery on our streets will have to pay the price, and they should expect there to be arrests, prosecutions, penalties, and the full force of the law, including imprisonment, travel bans and more, because it's really important that communities can feel safe on the streets, and there are consequences for breaking the law.
Are you confident there's capacity in the court system, in the prison system? We've heard a lot about pressure on prison places to deal with what might be coming.
We're clear that there are additional prosecutors in place this weekend, that the courts stand ready, that there are sufficient prison places ready as well, and already we've seen some people taken into custody as a result of this criminal disorder and thuggery, and we expect to back the police with everything that they need in order to be able to take action against this completely irresponsible and criminal behaviour.
And just finally, we've heard a call from one of your predecessors here, Priti Patel, for a recall of Parliament. Is that on the cards?
Well, I've already been talking to MPs across the country and making sure that they are in their constituencies are also able to hear from the local police and to work with local communities. That work will continue. It's really important that local representatives, also local community leaders, are involved working with the police. But the bottom line here is we cannot stand for this kind of thuggery or criminal disorder on our streets. Communities have a right to feel safe, and that is why I think the police will have everyone's backing in making sure that they can take the action that is needed.